I recently learned of an upcoming remaster of one of my all-time favorite games on the PlayStation 1, Saga Frontier. When I see that one of my favorite games is getting remastered, I kind of worry because I worry what they're going to be doing to it. So I went and I checked out the trailer, and to my delight, it looks relatively untouched. It looks like they just upgraded the graphics and textures, and I also hear that they're adding a little more story content. Saga Frontier is a relatively obscure game, and as such, not many people know about it, or know much about it at all. Because of this, I feel I need to set the record straight about what this game is, and conversely, what it isn't, so that people can adjust their expectations going in. Saga Frontier is a unique game in many ways, especially when compared to other games made by Square at around this time. Squaresoft is known for creating a certain kind of JRPG, especially around the time when this game came out, when JRPGs were flourishing on the PS1, and in many ways, they were the kings of the home console, especially considering that Saga Frontier was released slightly after Final Fantasy VII was. However, Saga Frontier should be approached as its own type of game and judged on its own merits instead of being held up against its JRPG brethren of the time. Saga Frontier is not really a game for everyone. It's incredibly non-linear. As a result, sometimes you feel kind of at a loss as to where you need to go or what you need to do next to progress the story. It also opens you up to getting yourself into a lot of trouble early on if you stumble across the wrong monsters, which is easy to do. Leveling in Saga Frontier is also unique. It happens in kind of a non-linear way. Instead of just grinding experience to get levels with predetermined stat ups, you instead get stats based on how you're training your character. By using certain magic or attacks or weapon types, you will get stat boosts based on your choice. So, you can turn almost any of your characters into a proficient user of whatever you want them to be. So you can turn your samurai character into a magic user, or you can turn your martial artist into a magic user, or if you want, you can make your robot use swords for whatever reason. Learning skills is also kind of unique too. You learn skills based on what you choose for attacks. So if you want to learn sword skills, use sword attacks. If you want to learn martial arts skills, use martial arts skills and fight barehanded. This goes for all the weapon types, and even for magic. Saga Frontier exists in a world that's kind of in between Final Fantasy and Skyrim. It's a non-linear, open-world RPG, and it lets you level up as you please and gives you a lot of freedom as to how you want to build your team and build your characters within your team. Now, what Saga Frontier isn't. It is not a linear, story-driven, predetermined hallway that you fumble your way down, like many JRPGs of the time. Most JRPGs at around this era are essentially go from point A to point B to reach your next destination, and then the story progresses. That works for some games, but this is a different type of game, and you have to take it for what it is. And what it is, in my opinion, is a fantastic game, as long as you know what you're getting into. Yes, it can be very challenging, and it can leave you feeling lost if you aren't sure where to go or how to progress. But sometimes, exploring the different towns and dungeons to figure out where to go and what you need to do to progress the story is more fun than the actual story itself. The same way getting sidetracked in Skyrim is fun if you happen upon a cave or something that you didn't know existed. As long as you don't dive into this expecting it to be another Final Fantasy or Breath of Fire and judge it on its own merits, you'll find that there's a lot here to love and massive replayability. So please, judge it for what it is and not what you think it should be.